are exploding today. Welcome everyone to another Tech Social. My name is Gabi. I'm a business analyst here at Cogent. And Edgar is here with us as well. Always our moderator, Edgar Martinez, Director of Digital Transformation. And we are very excited to have our guest speaker, Nativida Muhammad. You can call her Tiv. She'll have a chance to introduce herself in a bit, but she helps organizations navigate emerging technologies and use AI responsibly. So with all that, let's jump in. Ed, over to you. And thanks again, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, Gabby. Yeah, so I think every time that we talk about AI, it's a topic that we are all interested in, and of course, there's all of these things happening around every day, right? I think there's a lot to say in terms of, whether or not the AI is actually helping us be better or not, right? There are studies about how people using AI might not be using the same areas in the brain, and there's concern about it. And also, in general, I think we are all seeing a switch in the way we are working. So I'm really excited about today's topic, and really looking forward to hear some insights that Tip may bring to the table. So once again, Tip, thank you so much for being here with us. And over to you. Please tell us a bit more about yourself, and let's get it rolling.
Well, hello, everyone. I want to say thank you, first of all, to Gabby and to Edgar, to Tech Social, to Cogent, and LetUsTalkIt for even welcoming me or inviting me to speak today. The topic is really, really important to me and to, I'm sure, every human being on the face of the earth right now. But maybe we don't pay attention to some of the concerns. So being an AI expert contributor. So I'm not an AI expert, and I don't really know if there is actually any AI expert altogether, because it's growing so fast and we're developing so many different algorithms and just so much code that no one can actually keep up with what is going on right now and what possibly could happen in the future. So I think it's important that I'm so excited that we're able to have a space where we can come and just have casual conversations and kind of brainstorm together on maybe things that we've experienced and things that we're concerned about, and ways that we can use this, mega tech giant to help us. So I think that we'll talk about the pros. Everybody, we got smartphones, smart TVs, we've got automation at our fingertips. So that's a pro. We'll talk about some of the pros that AI brings, and then maybe talk about some of the concerns and everything. All the concerns don't always have to be bad. We just have to make sure that we're ready, and then that we see the concerns, because if we don't see them, then we don't know how to combat them. So, and then we'll also talk about what we think we can all do together to utilize it, protect ourselves, and utilize it as the mega giant tool that it is. So I don't know if anyone has any questions for me right now, or if you just wanted me to go right into it. I can talk about background a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So maybe we can start with some positive side and start hearing about the pros that we can find while using AI, right? What's
Okay.
the kind of thing that you are seeing there?
Now, the reason I know about AI, I guess I'll talk about that. I did speak to the company that I work for, Snorkel AI, and I can't really talk about what we do at Snorkel, but we do train large language models, which would be something like ChatGPT or Grok. So the model itself. So everything is data. I mean, if we use Google, we think that Google is giving us information, when actually the way the algorithm works for Google is we're going to put certain words. Google's not even reading the sentence. It's just looking at the words. And the search engine's going to browse all the different files, the different HTML files that will have any of those hot words in it. Always skip past the sponsored ones, by the way, because you don't really want that. You want to go past the sponsored ones, and then you're going to see what's going to be closest to you. And it's really what AI is doing, because that's been a form of AI. How long have we had Google? That's AI. And AI has actually been around since the 1950s. I think it was 1956. And the government really got scared of it and they put a halt on it. They stopped. There was millions of dollars in funding that was going to it. And they just said, no, 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 we're not going to go anywhere with it. And it really sat stagnant until like the 1980s, when it's always like that. We have another country, I think it was Japan, that was really starting to touch on it. And I was like, okay, we want to get back in there. We don't want to be like left behind. So we started playing around with AI a little bit more, and so it's been around a long time. We're just getting access to it as the public, I guess you could say. So we're able to go in and ask, and the data mining is happening at our command. So what are some of the benefits, the pros? I mean, we all love it. We can't get enough of it. I don't think a lot of people think about, all the layoffs that are happening. I just saw in the news that a lot of doctors and nurses are being laid off. It could be because of AI. So some of the benefits, like medicine and health and medicine. So I was talking to someone that had a discharge planning nurse that she was like, they're laying all the discharge planning nurses. Now, a bedside nurse may not have as much concern because AI is not going to go in there and give the medicine and check the vitals and all that. But a discharge planning nurse, that's sole responsibility is to make sure that this patient is going to follow the orders of the provider and give them a treatment plan. AI is doing it. So all they have to do is go in there, as they're monitoring. It's going in and data mining and monitoring every single thing, and then at the end of it, they already have the treatment plan. So not really a big need for a lot of providers that are not actually bedside. So but another thing that's really great about AI, aside from it taking positions, is that it's going to be saving lives more efficiently, because it's able to scan the CT scans. It can see cancers that we would not recognize. We are just not able to see how it's gonna manifest. So to be able to go in there and really intervene before something could get it be a worse, you can detect diseases a lot sooner. DEI, they were talking about DEI going away, but we need diversity, equity, inclusion in everything. And with AI, we're able to actually have accessibility and inclusivity a lot more for like people that may be hearing impaired, or someone that may not be able to read, and then they'll have the auditory. So that is a huge win for people that could not access a lot of things, have accessibility to a lot of things. So AI, that's a huge plus, not even just for this, but for anywhere that they go. They're able to use certain devices and actually live a positive and productive life, just like a lot of people, because of AI. Automation. Okay, so when I was looking up the stuff about automation, it was talking about like repetitive tasks, checking emails. Yeah, that's big, but what about automation? I knew somebody that works at a warehouse, and they had a robot that was literally just putting stickers on this thing, like stickers on the same box. Now, granted, that's not a big job, but for one person that's doing stickers all day, and you've got the regular shift, so we have to make sure that we are making our jobs better, but not taking them away. But that's a good thing for like sorting emails. But we'll get into that. The scientific discovery, like again, speeding up research. So in software development, we're not going to get too much into the technical part of it, but math, I don't know which one of you guys are mathematicians, but if you can get through trigonometry and all these really difficult classes, you can really land a really lucrative position, because a lot of people don't know those really technical, difficult math classes, right? Or how to do these math equations. Kind of don't need that mathematician anymore, because we can just plug it into what is the answer, and it'll not only will it give us the correct answer, it will write it all out for us. But that's a plus. So, and then just the everyday convenience. I mean, a lot of people that I know, they use it to go ahead and send out an email. Maybe a realtor might want to send out a proposal. It's just really, really easy for the everyday conveniences that we utilize AI for. And we've really depended on. Have you guys, how many times a day do you use AI at any level?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. I think, as we were saying at the beginning, right, it's really getting integrated into our daily life. Personally, I have been using it ever since it started. I mean, and I'm speaking, of course, about the LLMs, in particular ChatGPT. And at first, I think it was a lot of cool things, but let's say more like toy-like kind of things that you can do with it, or you could do with it. Like, for example, I remember writing poems or songs, and that kind of thing was like trendy at that point, right? Because it was really um, seeing as a surprise, right? That you can do that kind of thing with something in the computer that normally only a person could have done in the past. And little by little, I think we are integrating it in the way that we work, that we learn, that we think, right? So even I can see an impact, let's say, at different levels in our life, not only work. And we are just talking about the AI that is, let's say, consumer grade, right? That we can go and access through a service, and in comes integrated in the software that we are using. But as you mentioned really well, there are like many other things that people are actually doing with it at a different level. In the results of that, I think we will start seeing also in our daily life, but in different shapes, right? Like different treatments, for example, as you were saying, like related to medicine and healthcare, or perhaps better health plans, or even, one friend of ours is dedicated to training and fitness, and he was designing his training based on the AI input, right? So even though you are not directly getting that input from the AI, you might still be seeing that coming into your life in a different shape. So I think the impact it's really way deeper than we can imagine, and it's interesting how our world is changing right now, based out of these new technologies and new achievements that these companies are making, right? I think one interesting aspect is also in terms of how models started as something that only companies used to own, and now we can see also some models that are like open source, meaning that you can go and play with them and work with them, right? And it's not only like something that is a closed ecosystem anymore. And that for sure, in my mind, will start bringing more and more innovation into the landscape, let's say, and we will start seeing people doing interesting things out of that, right? Even myself, I have some personal projects that I would like to see working, and that in the end, another thing about AI is I think it's enabling us to create solutions faster and pretty much also satisfy our needs at a different level. So I think it's fascinating, everything that AI is doing for us. But at the same time, I think there are also cons about it, right? What do you think if we speak a little bit about the cons that you see, and how that are impacting us as human beings, let's say?
Well, you made a lot of good. You're hitting everything is spot on as far as the concerns that I have and the benefits. But one of the biggest concerns, like I said, when I turn on the news, and I feel personally responsible for sometimes because I'm involved in the algorithm and training it. And so AI is only as smart as we're programming it to be, because, when people see stuff that malfunctions, it's not AI's fault. That's human error. It's always only going to be human error, and it's only as smart as we're making it. The one of the biggest things that concerns me, and my partner mentioned, he said, well, what if it gets so smart that it can program itself? So when you're a developer, you think about, okay, if you just put in another function and make something loop, and then you say, if this, then that, what if it intercepts and can figure out some kind of way? So that is always one of my biggest concerns, is that it's going to start to program itself. But I'm a really big nerd from the 80s that used to watch a lot of Android, movies. So job displacement is what I always feel personally. I know it's not my personal, I'm not the one, but if I tell people that I am in I help train chatbots for, Amazon or, all these places, then I feel like I might get kicked in the back of the head if we're at a sporting event, because a lot of people are losing their jobs. And when I see people on the side of the road and these look like everyday people, I sit there and say they could be tech. Because when I say we're training our replacements, I'm talking about me personally, because graduating last year, I had no choice but to go ahead and start my own business, because every place wants 5 to 8 years of experience, and I know why. The reason that you have to come out and automatically have that much experience is the exact same reason I want to hire people that learned how to code before ChatGPT. I thank God that I was able to cry my way through software development school, because ChatGPT wasn't introduced to us until my very last semester. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This has been here the whole time. But at the same time, if I would have had it, would I know how to code? Would I understand the logic? So yes, it's giving us, you can go in there. It's not going to tell you exactly how to do a lot of everything. It leaves little pieces out. And I don't know if that's because there's a regulation. I don't think so. Or that's when you're supposed to flag it. And because part of training AI, we actually go back. People don't realize, like Gabby was talking about, privacy. There is no privacy. Have you ever, every chat, you can share your chat. If you ever try to share your chat, it just sends a link and the whole chat comes up. So everything is public, and people don't I don't think people think about that, because we go in and we'll look at specific chats and say, okay, well, that could have actually been done a little bit different, or that code was wrong. So we'll go and look at specific prompts and how AI actually responded. So replacing ourselves, which is something that my fingers are crossed for, with President Trump bringing the manufacturing jobs back to the US. Because when all the billionaires got together and they were all sitting there talking, it just took a couple of tech to say, hey, why do you have all these employees? Why not just hire some chatbot, put some chatbots in there, and you'll save $500,000 in your first month. Because you're talking about, if you can have a chatbot replace entry-level humans, then you're not even just saving on the salary, you're saving on workers' comp, you're saving on insurance, you're saving on a whole lot of stuff. So everybody that does AI is super, super busy making all these chatbots, and then you're seeing online 30,000 people laid off. Those are the entry level. Then if the people that want to stay here, they're going to say, hey, we're getting ready to lay off again. So we're going to offer you this package that you can take it. But guess what? Nothing's saying that offer is going to be what you were making before. So they may offer a lot less, because I was HR. So I already know they're just going to they're going to repost the position. You can reapply for your position. This is going to be a lower rate and maybe lower packages, because don't forget, cash rules everything around us, right? Dollar bill. So everything is about money. The best advice that I can give anybody is, yes, if you love tech, use AI as a tool. Don't put your life on autopilot. Don't say, okay, I wake up, I already have my schedule for the day, I already know what I'm going to do, AI's already done this. We all need to have access. We all need to have a trade. We all need to know how to do something. I detail cars, I build decks, the composite decks. I mean, come on, Like we have to know how to do something that AI cannot do, because at the end of the day, every single, like right now, this is something that someone programmed. So we are doing something that someone programmed. My voice can actually be taken and used, and I can make somebody can take my voice and make a podcast and use my features, all because of AI. What's the point in us even having people? So the best thing for us to do is, yes, we always want to make sure that we know, don't let AI pass us by. We need to stay in the loop. We need to make sure that we know about the new technologies that are coming out. We need to make sure that we educate ourselves, know how to use it. Because when we know how to use the technology, then we're going to know the risks. Also, when we are downloading these apps, you talked about open network. Open network means that, like, I have, I'm a software engineer, so I use Android, and then I, of course, have to use Apple. But when we are doing all this stuff, make sure that everybody is looking at what permissions we're giving for these free apps, because as a software engineer, we do not do anything for free. Okay, so when we sit there and we talk and we're like, how in the world, I was just talking about that, now it's showing up in my Google feed. Well, some free app that we gave access to our microphone to, it doesn't say when they can do it. Nothing says when they can turn on our cameras. We have 5 cameras on my phone. For what? There's cameras all over my phone. We're giving access to our cameras. We're giving access to our photo albums. We're giving access to everything. So keep in mind that when we're talking about smartphones, it is an AI phone. It's not smart for us. It's smart for the developers that we're literally giving access to do whatever they want. We're checking in places. But moving off, the privacy is a big thing. Like there's some other ones, misinformation and deep feeds, but privacy, again, talking about that, like, we just have to make sure that we're reading it. Just because something is free, that's the biggest reason you want to look and see what we're giving access to, because it's collecting and analyzing maps. I mean, we're doing this stuff in data mining. I know Elon Musk, which he's one of my heroes. I don't care what anybody says. I'm sorry, I love Elon Musk, but I was like, we literally just let Elon Musk go into the White House. He went into the White House, right? And I don't know if you Googled if you look up mega computer, he has a computer that he bought. It's huge. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure that all of our information, and could be even all over the world, is information just housed. And so the only thing that we can do is to try to protect our information the best we can. All these and also AI, where your phones do auto updates, turn that off. Turn off the auto update. Don't let it auto update. Look to see what it wants to do. Because we're just giving access to everyone without thinking about what we're even giving them. So they don't have to do update all the time, but sometimes updates are pushing stuff through, but it's also extracting information. Don't plug your phones into those little kiosks where you're at the airport and you can plug your phone in and charge it. No, 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 no. Free? Not so. They're going to transfer your files, and you're given the access to it. So if you go to someone's car and you want to plug your phone in and it's like, bing, makes a noise, unplug. I can tell you a lot of stuff about, because that's AI. It's still AI, because it's transferring anything that's going to be, there needs to be a human in the loop with everything that goes on. If there's not a human involved, that's a huge red flag. So and that's something that I'm looking at and trying to see. There's 2 McDonald's right now. 2 McDonald's. Yes, Gabby?
Yes, sorry to interrupt you. We're having like a technical issue with Zoom, and this meeting is going to end up in around 4 minutes, sadly. So, first of all, thank you for everything we have covered today. More than happy to welcome you in another episode. But yeah, we do need to like wrap it up. And before that, I do want to ask you, like, today, like right now, do you personally see AI as more of a helper or more like a threat to humanity? And we can like close the whole conversation with that answer.
It's good. Good. It's a tool. So just for us developers, anybody that uses it, anybody around the world, it's all up to us. So where we're going to take AI and how we're going to continue to use it. So if we want to use it in a bad way, if we want to, because yin yang, there's no light without dark. There's no dark without light. So if we use it in a good, positive way, there's going to be bad stuff, and then we can also use it to fix the bad stuff. So it's good, but we just have to make smart choices.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. And again, apologies about this technical issue. It was a surprise. So I didn't expect this. But again, we'll keep in touch. Tiff, thank you so much for joining us today and for this discussion in general. Edgar, do you have final words or even like a final question? We have around 2 minutes.
Well, actually, I think the points that Steve covered, all of that is really important for us to think about the way in which we are sharing our information, to whom, right? There were other comments there that I wanted to make, but maybe we can leave it for second session, right? But definitely, thank you so much, Steve, because the points that you touched, specifically the ones related to privacy, I think that's crucial, right? That we are aware about what we are sharing to whom, that we can take care of that. And finally, taking your last comment, I also agree with you. It's a tool. We need to learn how to use it for good, right? And also be aware of how the threats are, what the threats are, and be aware of that and take care of that, so we are safe while using it. So looking forward to a next opportunity to have another discussion with you, and thanks so much for your time and this valuable input. And yeah, definitely, I'm really eager to keep our conversation going in another occasion. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. But lastly, it's not going anywhere. So let's make the best of it.
Really true.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Steve.
much.
We'll
Bye.
keep in touch. And thank you, everyone. It was a short session today. Apologies about that. But we'll meet again next Thursday. Thank you all. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.